My wife? You talking about my wife? Inside my house that I paid for? Now her is dead and huh? My bed? He said wife.
Hey, you a bum, you. Go dig all three of your up with your scary. You a stop running from me. I ain't in no competition with you. Stop writing me. You are.
You ain't no blood. You won't be like me. You writing me all day. You are.
These watch me from a jail cell, man. These watch me from a jail cell and be on my so bad. Be writing academics about me, man. Ain't telling academics stuff about me.
How do you become the most loved and the most hated in the rap game at the same time? That's NBA Youngboy for you.
Youngboy talking about on this song, bro.
What?
He talking crazy on this one.
Oh, yeah?
He ain't even like that.
We ain't just talking about some regular rapper here. This dude's is a straight up lightning rod. Every move he makes got folks glued to the screen, talking non-stop. Whether it's deadly beefs, industry drama, or just wild disrespect, Youngboy's name stays in everybody's mouth. But is it cause of what he's done, or just who he is?
Writing me, you are.
You ain't no. You won't be like me. You writing me all day. You are.
So Youngboy never broke again back in the headlines. And nope, it's not about any new banger. This time it's real deep. My man has been caught up in some wild prescription case and in true NBA Youngboy fashion was slapped with 63 charges. Yeah, 63. Let that marinate for a sec.
NBA Youngboy was arrested this week at his Mill Creek home in what the Cache County Sheriff's Office is calling an ongoing investigation into criminal conduct.
And just like everything else about NBA, the whole industry is split down the middle over this. Half of them are throwing parties, happy to see him locked up. You know the names, Durk, Boozy, Kodak at this point, who hasn't he had beef with? But then you got the other side screaming, free NBA Youngboy, like their life depending on it. Real talk, whether you rock with him or not, ain't nobody neutral about NBA Youngboy. But this situation is bigger than just one rapper catching cases. This is about also all the beefs he's been collecting like Pokemon cards. From down in Baton Rouge all the way up to Atlanta, just mentioning his name gets people heated. So what's really good? Is it jealousy? Is it karma coming back around? Or is this just what happens when you make it to the top?
These watch me from a jail cell, man. These watch me from a jail cell and be on my so bad. Be writing academics about me, man. Ain't telling academics stuff about me.
Let's dive deep into all these enemies that NBA Youngboy stacked up while he was climbing to the top. First up is King Von. Man, you ever wonder why some of the hottest names in rap can't just let their talent do the talking? For King Von and NBA Youngboy, it wasn't just about music. It became personal, petty, and deadly.
My grandma raised me. You hear me? You know I ain't no.
My grandma raised me. You know I ain't no.
What started as a few slick comments turned into one of the rawest beefs the rap game has ever seen. And by the time it was over, one of them was gone. Let's break this down. So Von was climbing fast. His street stories, straight up legendary. He wasn't just talking it, he lived it. Meanwhile, Youngboy was sitting at the top, dropping hits like he had the cheat code to the game. At first, there was nothing but love between them. Von and his crew would bump Youngboy's tracks on IG Live, gassing him up. Fans thought a collab was inevitable, like two kings linking up. But nah, life isn't a fairy tale. And this story, it turned dark real quick.
My wife? You talking about my wife? Inside my house that I paid for? Now her is dead and huh? My bed?
He said wife.
It started small, almost like nothing. Von was on IG Live, vibing to Youngboy's track Play With Us, when he let something slip. What Youngboy talking about? He ain't even like that.
He ain't even like that. On his.
On his.
Maybe it wasn't that deep, but when you're as big as Youngboy, even a whisper of disrespect can sound like a shout. At first, Youngboy stayed quiet, like he wasn't pressed, but then Von posted that picture with Jania, Youngboy's baby mama. Y'all know what that meant. It wasn't just a photo, it was a chess move. And Youngboy, he don't play when it comes to his name. His response? Petty and straight savage. I'm gonna make sure my son for your daughter since you trolling hashtag 4KT. Bruh, what? Then came the plot twist nobody asked for. Youngboy linked up with Von's ex, Asian doll. That's when the streets knew. This beef was personal. Von wasn't having it either. He went to Twitter with some heat, talking about how he had dirt on Youngboy's baby mama. That new ish y'all got is garbage. I got some ish on y'all baby moms that make you not want to claim your kids, he said. Shots fired, literally. The tension hit its peak on November 6, 2020 outside an Atlanta hookah lounge. Von was out with his crew when he ran into Quando Rondo, Youngboy's right-hand man. Words were exchanged, hands flew, and before anyone could process, bullets started flying. Von was hit. He didn't make it. It was Quando's homie, Lil Tim, who pulled the trigger. You ever think about how one night can change everything? The rap game lost one of its realest storytellers, and the streets? They just got colder. But even Von's death didn't end the beef. Youngboy came back harder, releasing Bring the Hook, where he dissed Von's O'Block crew. And this that Squid Game, O'Block pack get rolled up, he rapped. Disrespect on another level. And O'Block wasn't silent either. They burned 4KT flags on video like they were sending a message. This ain't over. Other rappers started picking sides too. NLE Chopper backed Von's crew, saying Youngboy was all talk. But Youngboy clapped back, warning Chopper on No Like I Know. I bet your mama be destroyed when we send your stupid A to God. Even Rowdy Rebel caught smoke after saying Lil Tim didn't need to shoot Von. Youngboy came for him and Bobby Shmurda, calling them washed and irrelevant.
Man, you irrelevant and I said what I said, bro. You need a like me to keep you going. I ain't doing no fouling around me.
Von's sister, Kayla B, didn't hold back either. She came straight for Youngboy, calling him a hater and mocking his house arrest. Don't claim it if you ain't do it. You still a BE, she said, making sure everyone knew Von's name wouldn't go down without a fight. This wasn't just music beef, it was a war. A war where Instagram posts turned into street confrontations and words turned into bullets. Von's death left a hole in the rap game that'll never be filled. Anyway, Von definitely not the only rapper NBA Youngboy beefed with. In fact, the second rapper we'll be talking about his beef with was Von's guy, Lil Durk.
It's all good. They can right, they can pull that click up all they want to. They not get cut out of bones.
When Lil Durk and NBA Youngboy locked horns, the rap game felt the aftershocks. This wasn't just another social media spat. This was Paul, plain and simple. The tension exploded in late 20, and it's been nothing but smoke ever since. With Durk's OTF crew and Youngboy's 4KT camp throwing shots, dropping diss tracks, and turning the streets into a battlefield, it's clear this beef cuts deep. What really set it off? Well, let's just say King Von's name became the flashpoint. The loss of Von, a fellow OTF member, put Durk in go mode. He started airing it out in his music, and the streets were quick to connect the dots. Tracks like Ishi H.A. were full of venom, with Durk throwing jabs at anyone who dared align with Youngboy.
Keep the police out my we don't post.
But let's not act like Youngboy was sitting quiet. Nah, he came back harder than ever with I Hate Youngboy, spitting bars that didn't just target Durk. They went after his whole camp, his family, even his girl. Heard your homie got smoked, now what? Youngboy rapped, straight up calling out OTF without naming names. This wasn't just a lyrical battle, it became a cultural event. The fans, they were picking sides like it was a championship game. OTF supporters screamed, "Long live Von," while 4KT's green flags flooded social media timelines. Every time Durk dropped a bar, Youngboy countered with one of his own. Every Instagram post felt like a new chapter in their war. Durk wasn't about to let up though. He kept Von's memory alive in his music, turning him into a symbol for OTF's movement. And while Youngboy seemed more focused on dissing than mourning, his camp stayed locked in. Quando Rondo, one of Youngboy's main affiliates, even jumped into the mix with his own energy, keeping tensions high. But this beef wasn't just about music, it spilled into real life, with rumors flying about threats, retaliation, and moves being made behind the scenes. Quando couldn't book a show without hearing whispers of violence. Durk started moving differently, his lyrics hinting at street-level consequences. We ain't squashing nothing, we slide when it's time. Still, this isn't just about two artists clashing, it's about the culture they represent. OTF's roots run deep in Chicago, where the grind is survival, not just music. Youngboy and 4KT, they hold it down in Baton Rouge, where loyalty is everything, and beef doesn't just get brushed off. Both sides know the stakes, and neither seems ready to back down. What's wild is how the fans feed the fire. Every time a new diss drops, social media blows up. people dissect the bars like it's an M'der mystery, fueling the animosity. In fact, following Lil Durk's most recent arrest in October for the alleged deleting of Quando Rondo's cousin, fans have been causing an uproar online. Durk's arrest came hours after 5 members of his record label, Only the Family, OTF, were arrested on M for Hire charges in relation to Robinson's LMDA. The rapper is currently held without bond at the Broward County Jail pending the transfer of his custody to U.S. Marshals. Following Durk's arrest, fans online have shared their thoughts on the same. The fan base of rapper NBA Youngboy also shared their take on the arrest, clashing with Durk's fans. One ex-user claimed Youngboy should be free while Durk should be kept under custody, writing, "Free NBA Youngboy, keep Lil Durk. Free NBA Youngboy, F Lil Durk." Another ex-user commented. Some fans shared a different take on the matter, wanting Youngboy to stay in prison instead. "Free Durk, keep that NBA Youngboy locked up," a user jibed. "If Durk get booked, NBA told on him," a netizen alleged. For context, on April 16th, rapper NBA Youngboy was arrested under multiple charges, including felony identity theft, forgery of prescriptions, and illegal possession of substances.
Judge in Utah has sentenced the rapper NBA Youngboy to 23 months in prison on gun charges.
During his arrest, Youngboy was already under house arrest for a federal firearms case. The rapper is still in jail as of October 12th, with a total of 66 charges against him, and he was denied bail in May 2024. But just like his beef with Vaughn wasn't the only one, even adding Lil Durk wasn't enough for NBA Youngboy. The next guy he beefed with, Fredo Bang.
I can't walk by faith.
When it comes to NBA Youngboy and Fredo Bang, this beef runs deeper than rap. It's personal. The tension between these two Louisiana spitters popped off in 20, and it's been on sight ever since. No subliminals, no backhanded shade. This is straight up bad blood, and it's playing out for the world to see. The whole thing really ignited over some slick talk on social media. Fredo, knowing how to stir the pot, joked about him, and Youngboy dropping together, calling YB his son. Now, if you know anything about Youngboy, you know he doesn't let anybody play with his name like that. He clapped back on Instagram, throwing heat like, "I'ma catch you and bang your scary ah."
Hey, you a bum, you. Go all 3 of your up with your scary. You a. Stop running from me. I ain't in no competition with you.
He didn't stop there either, calling Fredo a pure B and going way left, bragging about how he could sleep with Fredo's mom. That wasn't just trash talk. It was a declaration of war. But Fredo's not one to back down. This dude has Baton Rouge roots, and he's been through too much to let a diss slide. Instead of fueling the fire with more talk, Fredo stayed steady, letting his actions and his music do the talking. But don't get it twisted, this isn't a squashable beef. The streets already knew what it was, and Youngboy fans made sure to keep the heat alive. Fast forward to September 2020, and the tension spilled into real life. Fredo was leaving a show in Fayetteville, North Carolina, when an NBA Youngboy fan tried to provoke him by shouting out NBA, BBG, and 4KT. For Fredo and his crew, that was the wrong move. Footage caught them turning up on the dude, with Fredo landing at least one hit. The message was loud and clear. This isn't just internet drama, it's about respect. Even when asked directly about the beef, Fredo downplayed it, saying on Academics Off the Record podcast that it wasn't as serious as people thought, but he kept it 100.
I personally don't got a problem with him. It's more of, like, when I was telling you about people.
According to him, the real issue comes from the people around them stirring the pot, whispering in ears and keeping the feud alive. Still, there's an undeniable tension. Youngboy's known for his explosive personality and his ride-or-die loyalty to his 4KT camp, while Fredo Bang represents the TBG, Top Boy Gorilla, side. This isn't just two rappers clashing, it's two worlds, two movements that don't see eye to eye. What makes this beef so wild is how Youngboy treats it like sport. He's the type to go scorched earth, calling out anyone he feels disrespected by, while Fredo's approach is cooler, more calculated. But don't let that fool you. Fredo's just as ready for the smoke. Whether it's through his music or his crew, he's made it clear he's not one to be pressed. And the fat man, they eat this up. Every diss, every social media post, every punch thrown outside a venue just adds fuel to the fire. It's like they want this feud to keep escalating, treating it like entertainment instead of recognizing the real life stakes. What's crazy is, despite the animosity, there's a level of mutual respect buried beneath all the noise. Both these guys are products of Baton Rouge, a city that breeds survivors. They've climbed from the mud to the top of the game, and while they might hate each other, there's no denying they understand each other. That's what makes this beef so compelling. It's rooted in familiarity, in a shared struggle, even if they're on opposite sides now. So, where does it end? If you ask Fredo, it doesn't seem like he's looking for resolution, just distance. And Youngboy, well, he's too deep in his all enemies, no apologies era to let it go. But I gotta tell you, sometime back in 2022, it seemed like these two rappers had squashed their beef. Apparently, NBA Youngboy and Fredo Bang squashed their beef during the Unity in the Community Christmas toy drive in Louisiana. The event went down on December the 24th, 2022, with clothes, toys, blankets, and more handed out to the community's children. However, Tony Yayo believes it was Motown's $100 dollars with NBA Youngboy that encouraged the Baton Rouge-born rapper to end his long-standing beef with Fredo Bang. Tony Yayo shared his theory behind the reason they ended their feud during his latest segment on Vlad TV. The G-Unit rapper explained that YB's recent deal with Motown likely played a role in trying to squash any street tension because of the check that came with it. How much money they gave NBA Youngboy? Tony Yayo asked Vlad before estimating that the value of his Motown deal was $100 million. Listen, shout out to NBA Youngboy. You give me $100 million, I'm gonna say stop the violence bells too. Because now he's in a whole other tax bracket. So it's like, congratulations to him because he's one of the top dogs out here. Tony Yayo added, because now the people are watching, wanting to take that money from you. And then there's NBA Youngboy's beef with Kodak Black.
Hey man, Kodak got so many songs. Yeah. The thing about it though with Kodak, the thing
These two were actually cool once upon a time. But you know how it goes in the rap game. Friends one day, enemies the next. Tension started when Kodak called out Youngboy for cooperating with the police in connection to a stabbing that took place at his home.
Entertainment, every time I try to like play with you or try to act like, oh, politic with you or try to act like I'm network, or anytime I try to like go against, you know what I'm saying? It be like I be feeling like I be lame.
Youngboy went on another one of his infamous Instagram rants, calling Kodak everything but a friend.
These watch me from a jail cell, man. These watch me from a jail cell and be on my so bad. Be right academics about me, man. Telling academics about me.
The beef spiraled for there, and before you know it, diss tracks were flying. In fact, a while back, Kodak took it to X and said he didn't like Youngboy's cult-like fan base. Justice and fans, homie, or whoever TF behind all this better ish, he wrote in a since deleted post. That ish be irritating, and can't nobody else say they don't feel me. And too real. I ain't hating on no effing body. I just say what everybody else is scared to say. NBA responded with, you don't like my fans, I don't like you, P. Let's be honest. If Youngboy's loyalty is a coin, it's flipping 24/7. So was Kodak just the next one to land on the wrong side? That's a really good question, because the next guy on his beef list is Gucci Mane. Now this one shocked everybody. Gucci Mane, a certified legend in the game, got pulled into Youngboy's line of fire. Why? Because Youngboy dissed him in a track claiming Gucci wasn't real anymore for working with certain artists.
Used to with Gucci till I seen he liked them.
And Gucci, being the seasoned vet he is, didn't let it slide. He dropped Publicity Stunt, a track aimed directly at Youngboy.
Don't speak on my name, don't get put in the blunt. You can diss all you want, still won't get a response.
Honestly, fans were divided. Some sided with Gucci, saying Youngboy was out of line. Others said Gucci should have just ignored it. Either way, it proved one thing. Youngboy isn't afraid to take shots at anybody, no matter how big their name is. You need to bear that statement in mind, because the next guy NBA Youngboy beefed with is the Boozy Badass himself. Here's where things hit close to home. Boozy Badass, the certified veteran who put Baton Rouge on the map, has always been vocal about loyalty. So when Youngboy, one of the biggest names out of his city, started moving, funny, you already know Boosie wasn't about to bite his tongue. Well, not entirely. In an interview, Boosie kept it real and said he and Youngboy got a mutual understanding now. Translation, they aren't talking and they don't want to talk. No disses, no convos, just silence. Boozy's exact words,
I mean, if he diss me, he miss me. You know, if
he diss you, you miss me.
but at the same time, if he don't love me, it's fuck me. But I mean, well, I be bipolar as a mother, like, bruh, like.
But let's rewind a bit. This ain't some overnight tension. Back in 2022, Boozy let loose on Vlad TV and said he dropped the track "I Don't Call Phones, I Call Shots" as a diss to Youngboy. And why? Because Youngboy took shots first with "I Hate Youngboy." Boozy kept it 100, saying, "I didn't want to off him." That's real talk from a man who's seen it all. But the real issue? Youngboy not clearing any of Boozy's songs, despite clearing tracks for other artists. Boozy felt disrespected, plain and simple. "You supposed to be my dog," he said. But now, they're just keeping their distance. No reconciliation, no fake handshakes. Just two Baton Rouge legends who've drawn their lines in the sand. Evidently, big or small, you can be sure NBA Youngboy is not afraid to spar with anyone. Just as he dissed Gucci Mane and Boozy, you can be sure he'd also hit at younger rappers like J-Day-Youngin, the next guy on our list. This beef is all about Louisiana pride. J-Day-Youngin claimed that Youngboy wasn't repping their state properly, and from there, it was a rap. Diss tracks, Instagram shade, even threats. It got ugly fast.
He for one, and the dyke and don't give a about none of that. You be hiding. We real headhunter, man. Come on, man.
I'm a real. I stand on everything. You hear me? Ain't no don't play with me. Ain't no disrespect me, and I just feel like they slide.
Unfortunately, J-Day-Youngin's untimely death in 2022 cut this rivalry short. So here's the thing. Youngboy's got enemies in every corner of the game. Some of it's on him. He's not exactly the type to stay quiet. But at the same time, you gotta wonder, does being this controversial come with the territory of being this successful? Whether you love him or hate him, Youngboy's story is bigger than rap. It's a mix of loyalty, betrayal, and straight up chaos. But with every beef, every diss track, and every courtroom battle, he's solidifying his place in rap history. The question is, will it end with a legacy or a tragedy? One thing's for sure, this isn't the end of the NBA Youngboy saga. Not by a long shot.